We have now arrived at one of the most anticipated sessions is today's program, a session that will expand our perspective on how to build connections that are not only wide-reaching, but also meaningful and truly transformative. We invite you to tune in and actively participate in the session, and the title is, okay, masih disiapkan? Okay, stay tuned on our live YouTube, Bali Tourism Office, for the Bali Wellness and Beauty Expo 2025, right here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wellness and Beauty Expo 2025, and we are entering to the third talk show under the title "The Future Wellness Prevention Starts with Knowledge." Is that right? And this session will examine how cutting-edge research and community education can empower each of us to stay healthy before illness overtakes. Once again, please welcome our great moderator, Ibu Erika Sedana.
Thank you. I think I should have better energy from there. Thank you. Terima kasih, Bang Paul. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you for still managing your time to be here for the next session we will have. And the third talk show, we will discuss further about the future wellness. Prevention starts with knowledge. So I think this is very, very essential for all of us. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like now to have on stage with me, I'm very much delighted to invite all speakers from this session. First of all, Benjamin White from Human Plus Future of Wellness, Longevity, Diagnostic and Regeneration. Can I have on stage, please? May I have one round of applause? Hello, Benjamin. Thank you so much for joining us. A pleasure meeting you. Thank you. Please have your seat. Right, so next I would like to invite Aurimas Juotka from Human Optimization. One round of applause, please. Give the energy to our speakers. Aurimas, a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for joining us, please. Right, next I would like to invite Pak Prem Sangeet, Director, Startup Grind. Pak Prem, hello. A pleasure meeting you. Thank you, nice to meet you, please. Then I would also be delighted to invite Ibu Tracy Angerfeland from part of us actually here from Bali Wellness and Beauty Expo, part of the board. Thank you. Hello, Tracy. A pleasure meeting you. We meet every day, Tracy. Right, first of all, to speakers, once again, thank you very much for your time to be here, managing your time, for also sharing with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will talk further about we will also emphasize about the importance of personalized health and also the role of testing and monitoring baseline, then also the role of education and knowledge in this case. So then I would like to first address the first question is because it's going to be a discussion here. Then if you don't mind from Benjamin first, if you don't mind to share your insights on what exactly, I would say like the powerful tools here in regards to wellness.
Yeah, I think, hello. I think testing is...
Do you have your mic on? Hello. Yes, it works now.
Hello. Yeah, I think testing is one of the most important things you can do. Without this knowledge, you're kind of throwing it in the darkness. It no longer really becomes about treating the issue. It's preventative before it even happens to living in complete optimal health.
How do you see that we could actually drive people to really seek for knowledge, further knowledge about wellness development here?
Yeah, I think it really does come down to education, in a sense that without this awareness, how you ever ready to know exactly where to start and what to do next. And I think that education is one of the most important things.
Right, so thank you so much. I'll just move on to Rimas here in this case. So how would you see that the future of wellness industry here in Bali especially? How do you see, would that be like something more into a potential industry that we could develop, or do you want to also see the potential, also the challenges that we will have?
I feel like education has the overestimated value, really. It's not about education, it's about application. Because most of us are educated and we know what to do. The problem is that we're not actually doing it. And I believe that the future of wellness in general is us turning ourselves into experimenters, really. And education is not about knowing what to do, it's about how to actually apply that to your day-to-day. And there is a lot of stuff that is happening, and there are so many great sources of knowledge. It's just that knowledge is usually not bridged with the implementation pathway on how to implement that into your day-to-day life. So I think that creating spaces that are going to allow people to learn ultimately how to integrate that into their day-to-day lives and actually apply the thing that they learned is the most important thing, and that's the future of wellness.
Right, so you're saying that knowledge is there, education is sometimes in place, but some of the challenge will be how we really implement that into our daily lives.
Precisely, because when you think about it, when it comes to health, from what I found, I've been experimenting for the past 15 plus years, and there are only a few elements of what we need to implement and optimize, if you will.
Yeah.
There is our sleep, there's nutrition, there's movement, there's breath, and there's our environment. That's on the physical side of things. Then we have emotional, spiritual, mental. So when you actually break that down, there are about 25, maybe 30 habits that you can implement into your day-to-day. And if you just do half of that, you're going to be at top 1% of population. And the question is really, how do we integrate that into schooling systems? How do we integrate into our families? How do we integrate that into our societies? Because a lot of those things cannot be, the problem with that is that a lot of those things cannot be monetized. And education is becoming productized rather than giving something that is solving a problem to the final form, really. So that's a different problem that needs to be solved ultimately.
Right, thank you, Orima. So can I go to Tracy now? So we talk about holistic, we talk about a lot about integration so far for the last 2 days. So do you see that there's necessity of integrating the wellness into higher education curriculum in this case?
Yeah, hello there. That is a topic. The younger ones can be, that they can learn that is great. But just to reiterate, what we're talking about here is lifestyle medicine. But before we even get to that, the knowledge of understanding that we are very personal. We are individualized medicine that we're talking about, and we are all different. So we could be an Olympian, an athlete, and suddenly when we hear of news that they've dropped dead on the football field or doing something, why did this happen?
I'm sorry, Tracy, I just want to ensure that
this is
your
where
voice.
This is where the testing and the knowledge is important, that we can navigate that. And then places, say, where AJ is working, they can teach how to implement the program. So the knowledge is first, what is for me? The doctor who was going to be here works in functional medicine. That's what she shapes programs for the centres here in Bali, that they can implement them. And then ones, say, like Ben's business, they are able to give the medicines that match the person. It's individualised, and that's the personalised knowledge that we need to have optimal wellness.
Right, thank you, Tracy. So you talk about early stage, we need to really go into that
and
part.
the younger we learn this, well,
Yes.
then we shape a life.
Definitely, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So I can go to Prem now. So as we talk also about integration, and we talk that, as you mentioned, that we need to embed this one into like early educations. then how do you see the integration of holistic approach in this case? The government or policymaker is there and the community is there, education part is also there. How do you see to be the effectiveness of this integration can happen?
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you for having me, and hello everyone. You mentioned all these important things. Education is there, policymakers, and I think the way how we integrate a holistic approach to wellness is pretty much the mix of everything. And I'm so excited that we're living in this age of next era of longevity, which will allow us to use technology, to use the biomarkers, to use ancient knowledge, especially ancient Balinese wisdom that uses nature to heal us and to prevent. So we're gonna shift from healing, treating the disease, into kind of moving to thriving, into really living our optimal health, living pure longevity. And I believe in this nexus where technologies now have been ready for us, we're able to implement holistic approach, but what I think is the future is to use it on hyper-personalized level. And I think that's, you know, we're all individuals, and, you know, some of the things that these amazing people are doing might work for you, but not might work for somebody else, right? So we have to use this technology, use the ancient wisdom to really create this precision medicine that also includes holistic living. What AJ was saying, like there are all these layers from nutrition, what beautifully was said at the previous panel about heart, mind, and body, how mental health is important. It's all part of the whole this beautiful universe of the things that makes it holistic. So yeah, I'm very optimistic for the future.
Right, that's amazing. So I take the note on hyper-personalization here in this case. So learning about the development of the wellness industry so far, I'm going to go back to Benjamin now for the question. So we see that it's, like everybody agree from the last couple of years lately, people agree that it's going to be a very potential industry to grow, and in tourism, like wellness tourism. So how do you see for us to prevent organic growth in this kind of industry instead of we do have well-planned growth for the wellness industry itself?
What was the question?
So I'm saying that we totally agree that wellness tourism is part of a potential section of tourism that we need to grow. But on the other hand, normally what we have is organic growth everywhere. It just happens. It just grows without any goals or without any track. Yeah. So how would you see the best way to really prevent this kind of organic growth happening in the wellness industry, so that we need to really have a well-planned growth, how we can really reach into that stage?
Yeah, I think Bali has always been the mecca for healing in the world, or wellness. And now with the economic zone and the new hospital in Sanur, I think these regulations that are changing, allowing things to be quite concise and actually policed in a way that things could be done ethically and properly. And I think Indonesia's reputation as a medical mecca is also growing with this. So yeah, I think the new regulations that I've seen coming in and the things that are popping up here organically and structured, it's actually quite impressive.
Right, so thank you. Can I go back to Prem for your insight, please? How do you see that we can really prevent organic growth happening? Because it's something that we don't really want. It just happened, it's just like as it is. So it's unplanned. So how do you think that we can, like Bali, for instance, can really prevent this happen?
Well, it's inevitable. You know, we live in a wellness bubble. Bali's now has been on the 4th place in the world in leading in wellness tourism, you know, just after Switzerland, Costa Rica, and Thailand. And there's the global bubble. But what I feel when you talk about organic growth, we have to bring back to organic roots what really Bali has to offer. And those are the pure, natural, clean waters, you know, coconuts, jamus, something that has been here for thousands of years. The spirituality, the community, these are all the red threads that we see across the blue zones, where people live healthy, happy for a long time, right? So I feel organically is going to happen as long as we keep it sustainable, we keep it in line with regulations, and we use technology very ethically. I feel that we're on this verge of we either gonna break it or make it. I always say, like, where there is a great danger, there is a great opportunity, right? With the AI in particular, where we're heading with testing and analyzing, I found that more the technology I use, the more recommendation where go back to nature, go back to your friends, go back to these natural compounds, like, you have BSI and other companies here exhibiting. They're just really bringing that organic Balinese thing that's very authentic. And this is where we're going to, more being authentic, more being rooted in the nature. That's going to keep us organic growth.
So thank you so much, Prem, and also Benjamin, for your response to the questions. So I just move on to the next question, since we are speaking a lot about education here, embedding education or knowledge into a wellness industry. So if I may ask Tracy, in this case, how do you see the best innovation or the best practices in embedding education or wellness into education part?
So
can I have Tracy's microphone?
It's
up,
okay.
please?
It's okay. It's here. So what we're talking about is personalised health. We're talking about the individual having the knowledge. And we're talking about medical, health and wellness tourism. So creating an infrastructure where people can get information. Bali is a place where we say health seekers, people with health issues, and vitality seekers are coming from all over the world. They're looking for something. So having the infrastructure where they know they can get that information, part of the tourism sector, and then also we're talking about knowledge, personal knowledge, and educating. We're talking epigenetics, DNA testing, biome testing. We're talking about mental health, so that they can have health guides that give them. There's all experts that live here, and then we integrate it with the local way as well. And like we said earlier, there's 9 steps.
Right, so thank you so much. Thank you, Tracy, for sharing that. So integration is still there. We will still need that. Can I also go back to Aurimas, please, to have your intervention on this one? Was this like the best innovation that we can do in integrating wellness into education?
So there is a cycle to education, and the cycle that we as humans have been stuck in is we're notoriously bad at recognizing that we are in a cycle. And we're notoriously bad at recognizing that we need to change that cycle, because what happens is we fall into the unconscious patterns over our lifetime, and then those unconscious patterns keep perpetuating themselves, and then instead of living after the age of 25, the decline is very, very, very stark. After the age of 25, instead of living next 50 years as 50 different years, we live same year 50 times. And within the educational process, ultimately, we need to recognize that there is the piece of knowledge, there is a piece of implementation, there is a piece of reflection, and then there is a piece of adjustment. So integrating that into our educational cycle and our lifetime cycle, really, and recognizing that those elements are needed to be, are crucial to be implemented into our day-to-day, and really how to apply that to our lifestyles is one of the elements that needs to be integrated into the educational system. So those 4 cycles: the knowledge, implementation, reflection, and readjustment. So until we have that, there is no future of science, education, et cetera, because right now we're kind of taking those cycles that we have fallen into and the scientific knowledge that is being pushed upon us, but the best scientific experiment is us at the end of the day. And that educational system needs to be adjusted to the scientific process that is adapted to our day-to-day, rather than something that has been figured out outside of us. As Tracy was saying, that we are unique individuals at the end of the day. And for us to adapt something that has been figured out outside of us does not necessarily work for you as an individual. So that's ultimately the future of education.
Right. So, well, the cycle I see is very essential to be implemented here. So then you also mentioned about future of wellness. So can I just go back to Benjamin on the future of wellness? So if I may ask Benjamin, how do you see the future of wellness industry in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think in the very near future, especially in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to wake up in the morning and prick your finger and your phone's going to tell you exactly what you should be eating and what you're nutrient deficient in, as well as go sit outside and put your feet on the ground and get some sun. I think it's going to take the thought process of not knowing what to do and hold you accountable to exactly what your biology needs. And I think that's the beautiful part where I see the advancement in AI and health coming together. And for me, that sounds pretty exciting. And I also, some people, it's like daunting. It's like, well, how much power do you give to AI to let it control how you're feeling? But I think if it gives you good insights into what's happening inside your body, it can be game-changing.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. So I'm going to go back to our remarks in this case. I'm going to ask the same question, almost similar. So how do you see the future of wellness in the next 5 to 10 years, but embedded in education, wellness education, I would say, in the next 5 to 10 years?
So precision medicine is coming no matter what. And as Ben was saying, we do actually have to be very careful how we are accepting that into our day-to-day, because you probably are familiar with the placebo effect, which is ultimately intaking something that you think is going to help you, and it actually helps you. Also, there is such thing as a nocebo effect, where it gives you the opposite. So or the opposite effect, when you think that something is quote-unquote bad, and you are instilling that into your mindset, something bad is going to happen ultimately. It's a vibrational frequency ultimately at the end of the day. I have invested a lot of time and effort into tracking things, and I still do. I have different trackers like Aura device, etc., and I stopped checking that first thing in the morning because it would tell me that I didn't sleep that well, but I felt okay. But I saw that I didn't sleep that well. I would adjust things to my day, even though I wouldn't have adjusted otherwise. And instead of benefiting me, it actually stopped me from really living my life as I'm supposed to live it, and actually being present to it. So I feel like precision medicine is a beautiful thing, and it's going to give us a lot of insights, but also we need to be very, very careful on how we're utilizing it, because we're more than the sum of our parts, and we're more than just numbers on the screen. So we need to recognize that and really combine the two elements of science and holistic wellness.
Great, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I can go back to Tracy now to see on your intervention on how do you see exactly the urgency of growing this wellness industry and also include global resources, international resources in this case.
Okay. So what we call a wake-up call is to come here to reset and restore health. We start west and we go east. We bring this knowledge, but the base is that we go back to our roots and actually get a true connection. Probably the last 100 years, we've been in a very reactive model in the world to different situations, but now we can make choices. How we sleep, eat, and just like AJ said, it's a connection with ourselves, and from that space we start connecting with others and create a life. And this is what Bali's about.
Right, so for the questions on that, do you see the urgency and necessity also to include international resources here into development?
Yeah, so having certain places that can support these, what we call health journeys, to come to a level where people start adopting their own life.
Right, so thank you so much, Tracy. So I go back to Prem. If you have the magic wand, so how do you see or how do you want this wellness industry to be?
If I had the magic, it works. Thank you, Tracy. if I had a magic wand, how would I see the industry evolve? Wellness. Wow, that's a tough question. So, back in the day in London, I used to work with few leading universities, and we would have these experiments, moonshots, where we would ask ourselves these questions, and we would like through technologies, possibilities, is like, what would it be if longevity was just on demand? So we developed this study called State on Demand, that we figure out, like, what if each individual can choose the state, and then this interface, like Ben was mentioning, it's very non-intrusive. It would just guide us in a very nice way. What AJ was saying is, we are so impacted by our environment and how the news is delivered to us. So we can get triggered by different things. So we have to build this resilience. But if we are approached and communicated in a nice way that only we can understand, so the education is like not universal, but it's personalized, it can affect us to that level that it can motivate us. So our mind, body, and soul are completely in the balance. So I feel like the magic wand would be if I could just intuitively learn how to be in the present moment, fully happy and healthy. And that's without any intrusion. That's the new longevity OS.
So that's amazing. Mindfulness, I would say, like, just be present. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. So, Prem. Well, in terms of future wellness and prevention, starts with knowledge. Before we close the sessions, I would like to seek for your last short closing statement. Maybe I could start with Tracy. Your last closing statement, please, Tracy.
So the knowledge we're talking, whatever's stopping us from truly living, we're talking about age in reverse and disease in reverse, and that's usually the blocks. So the idea is that we address this, we can live to our fullest potential, and like you said, Bali, it's about harmony and coming back into balance and living.
It's amazing. Thank you. So can I proceed also with Benjamin, please? May I have your last short closing statement in regards to the prevention start with knowledge in this wellness industry?
Sure, yeah. I think the future is already here. Like, it's no longer going to be our kids' generation ever getting sick. It's like nobody needs to get sick. There's so many options before that, before you even get the signal to the point where it's like, well, I need to be cured. I think the acceleration rate of science, biology, technology, we're living in one of the most exciting times ever. And I think it's the future is already here, and I'm super excited about it.
Right, so thank you. Future is already be here. All right, so thank you. Can I have also the same, please, from Orimas, last closing statement?
I would encourage everyone to become their own scientific experiment and to recognize that science, as we have been utilizing, has been for the general populace, and you are a unique individual that can be outside of that general populace, because by definition, scientific studies exclude people who are outcasts, ultimately, people who are unique and people who are incredibly high performers. So if you want to be a high performer, question the studies that are being presented to you and create a scientific study for yourself where you are able to become your own experiment and create that educational cycle of knowledge implementation, reflection, and redirection.
Right, so high performance, taking ownership on the learning process as well. Thank you so much, Orimas, for that. So last but not least, of course, Prem, may I have your last closing statement, please?
Such an honor to do this last. Is it okay if I ask you all to close your eyes for a second? Is that okay? And then let's close our eyes and just take a few deep breaths in. So my last statement is that you already know everything inside. You already have it all. Just be here, be present. Thank you.
So thank you so much. Wow, that's be present is a key intake for all of us, like key takeaways. So thank you so much once again. May I have one round of applause for all our speakers here, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again, Prem, Tracy, Orimas. Thank you once again, also Benjamin, for sharing your valuable insights to all of us today. So without further ado, like 1:13 now, so 2 minutes I still have time. May I have address a question? If you would like to address question, yes, from the audience. I have 2 minutes if you don't mind. So yes, please. May I have your name and also your institutions, where you're from, please?
Hello, I'm Ismayanti. I'm from Jembrana, West Bali. So from Kelapa Retreat, Kelapa Retreat Hotel. I think West Bali can become a wellness destination, because I think wellness is not only product what we use. Wellness. It's, I think the root of wellness is how we breathe the fresh air, the water with no pollution. The air is still fresh. So West Bali, Jembrana, it still have that. The roots of healthy. Because sometimes we forget the roots of the healthy environment. We all know Bali has a problem with rubbish, with pollution, water pollution, air pollution. So this is the root how Bali will become wellness destination. We are coming from a hotel industry. We need to know what is the root. Bali will become successful as a wellness destination. We have to take care of our culture and nature. This is number one. This is why people from around the world coming to Bali and become their homes. Not only coming here for tourists, 1 night, 2 nights, but they are here for many, many years. It's right. You have to go back to education. Go back to education. Educate people. Educate tourists. Educate people who want to live in Bali.
Right. Thank you so much, Ibu Isma. Thank you so much. So you come all the way from Jembrana, Asli, West Bali, and to be here. So thank you for your time. Also, thank you for sharing that. I definitely agree. I think we definitely agree that Bali has the roots for the development of wellness tourism, and everything needs to start with education and also knowledge. So thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, all the audience speakers. Thank you once again. So I'll see you around. So we still have more questions. Do we have more questions? No.
Anyone
Okay.
has
So
a question? No?
One question? No questions? All right. One question. Yes, please. Yes. Yes. If you could just make it short, please. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, it's a very, very short, specific. What would be your advice to non-Indonesian visitors to this island as the #1 thing we can do to respect and give back to Indonesia and to Bali as visitors in this place?
Thank you. I love the question. So I will just address directly what exactly #1 advice you have for the expats to really respect or like embrace Bali. So Prem?
Well, it's a great question. It's the best question that Bule can ask. And I've been trying to learn how to give back the reciprocity, how to collaborate with people like Bali Wellness Expo and this beautiful event, how to educate other people that are building us in a sustainable way, how to preserve the culture and celebrate the culture, how to come back to the roots of it, and how to really promote. I've traveled around the world with Startup Grind, and I've seen the cultures being destroyed, concrete blocks being paved over sacred lands. And I feel it's really important for all of us to set the example of how to do anything in our power to protect these beautiful sacred lands and amazing culture. Bali still has one of the most intact cultures, and it's rooted in Hinduism and Buddhism and most beautiful natural ways of remedies of healing. So thank you for asking this question.
Well, thank you, because I love the question. So celebrate culture, embrace culture. I'm going to address also the rest of the speakers we have here. Bang Paul, can I have 2 minutes, please? Yes, please. Maybe Orimas? Would you mind to share, please?
I would say it's very simple. Ask how you can contribute, how you can collaborate with the locals in, excuse me, in the projects that they're involved in, and simply invest your energy and time to contribute to what they actually need. It's that simple, and I feel like the highest leverage in my opinion is actually contributing to the regeneration of the land and the soil on Bali. That would be, if I was to choose the one thing to focus on, that would be that.
Amazing. So contributions to Islands of Bali. Yes, please, Tracy.
Yeah, and probably the connection part, where we treat every person as an individual, talk from the heart, we're all together. And with the ground, there's a word called tree hitakama, and we bring that into our life when we're dealing with everyone, especially our Balinese friends here.
That's amazing. Treat everyone from the heart. So it's really amazing. So Benjamin, may I have your intervention, please?
Yeah, I think my advice would be, don't come here to take, come here to give, and go experience the Balinese culture and learn. Like, get out of Canggu and Ubud and these other areas where it's just tourist focused, and see what else this place has to offer and learn about their culture.
Right, so give it back. So I would say giving back. So giving back, contribution to Bali and the lands and the islands. And also you were mentioning about, treat everyone with the heart. So appreciating and embracing the culture. So thank you so much. Amazing. Thank you. So once again, may we have one round of big applause for all speakers, please? More energy. All right, so thank you. I give the floor back to Bong Paul. Silakan Bong Paul.
Okay, thank you. Big applause once again, ladies and gentlemen, to give more energy, right? Okay, terima kasih tiga pembicara yang sangat luar biasa. We have the wonderful experience, and also we had lots of new knowledge inside and also from your expertise. Okay, Pak, thank you very much for staying on the stage. And we kindly invite Pak Ketut Jaman, Head of Director of Malali Mais, to come forward to present the token of appreciation to all of our speakers and also moderators. We have one more session before we have lunch break, ladies and gentlemen. And we're still live on YouTube of Bali Tourism Office. Remember, three fingers please. Okay, that's wellness. All right. Give a big smile. We are still on. Okay. Say Bali. All right. Once again. Say Bali. 1, 2, 3. Bali. Okay. Thank you.